over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day.
Yo, Flurfs, what's up? I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for coming. Sorry I'd start a bit late. What a rush, but I'm here, so it's good to see you. We got PJ Cruikshank, Michael Kahn, and Jeff Conkle in the Elements. How you guys doing?
Yo, good.
Oh, good, mate. How did you, was it your dancing you were going to with your daughters or something, was it?
No, I was supposed to have some dancing tonight, but they cancelled because the power went off. And my daughter had a music video recording, so it finished late and we only got back and quickly rushed and did all that stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
Well, it's good to be here, guys. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. Let's see what's happening in the chat. We do have a few people in at least, so that's a good thing. So tonight's Dave McKeegan, guys.
Aye.
What do you think we're going to expect?
Prepare to lose some IQ points.
Yeah, so I was just saying, Jeff was just saying that watching these anti-flat earthers and people like Dave McKeegan and that is like sniffing glue. You always lose IQ points when you watch them.
That's crazy. But anyways, 14 votes. Dave cannot contain his ignorance to guess behavior. Nope, he does not get it. 50%. Yes, he just plays dumb. 29%. And Dave who? 21%. So anyway, hi Ellen, good to see you. Peter Cruikshank, what's up? Jeff Conkle, good to see you. Black Circle, what's up, man? Ryan S, glad to have you in. One Mind, One Spirit, what's up, man? Thank you for coming. Don Logan, it was good to see you too. Price of Adam, it's great to have you in. Richard G, what's up? Moomin Rider, thank you for coming. Kanye West and Carl Opel, you guys rock. Raichi 50, it's good to see you guys too. Thank you all for coming. Tonight I was clever. I downloaded the video so there's no adverts.
Sorry.
Now we don't have to worry about the adverts. While everybody's here, would you please do me a favor and hit that like button and share the show, as it really does help to get the show out to a wider audience. And then I want to show a comment from Dirth. Ooh,
From Dirt himself.
yeah,
Dirty.
Dirt.
And Dirt. Yeah.
Yes, from last night. Last night's stream.
Have you triggered the big boss, man?
According to him, if it takes that long to get 3,000 subscribers, you should delete your channel.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not about truth for that guy, is it?
Wow. Well, what a comment to make.
Yeah, hell yeah, Flatzoid dominating once again. And Moses says, and he has just over 3k subs to prove his dominance. This is Dirth. What the hell is this place? Oh, he deleted that comment.
That's it.
I already took a screenshot on my phone though. Sorry, Dirth. So I thought, why? I thought it's about truth, not subscribers. Because he said if it takes that long to get to 3,000 subscribers, he would delete his channel.
Wow.
So it's all about subscribers for him,
Delete
guys.
his channel anyway.
Yeah, really weird. But like I said, I didn't really say anything bad about him. He actually did a good job against the explaining to that Tyler dude. Obviously, the shit that he pushes that I don't agree with, that makes us look stupid, which I keep saying. And then yeah, but yeah, shout out Dirth. At least you took the time to come to this very small puny channel to leave comments.
Are you humbled? Do you feel humbled by his presence?
Can I just say hello to everybody in chat who's saying hello? I can't be bothered to type.
Hey, and we got Sleeping Warrior just popped in. How's it going?
All good, man. All good.
That's good. That's good.
You know that question that you asked, that Paul. Do you want to ask it again?
Okay, yeah. Dave cannot contain his ignorance to guess behavior.
So normally, when you get protagonists that are pushing the nonsense, my default position is that they must know, because they must know the weaknesses in their own arguments, because they've got to argue against it.
That's right.
Not in the way that they're ignorant, in the way that they know it and they've got to argue the alternative. It's the same reason why they've got to argue that one, that Merriam-Webster dictionary definition for level.
For level. Yeah, where they put earth curve straight after contradicting the rest of the definition.
Yeah, but you've got to know that argument, right? To know that you have to use the Merriam-Webster one. You can't use just any other dictionary.
Exactly.
There's like 20 other ones that you could use. But if you use any of them, you debunk yourself. So you've got to use the Merriam-Webster one, and only the Merriam-Webster one, because all the other ones don't do what they need it to do in the definition. But that shows that they know that they're lying, right? If they go to that definition when they are citing someone to define the word level, then you know that they're lying because it's the only one that does it.
Exactly.
So, but with Dave McKeegan, it's difficult to tell because he speaks in a way that's a little bit slow. So it's hard to tell whether he actually knows one or not.
You see, the thing with Dave McKeegan is he definitely does his research. That's why I would say yes, he just plays dumb, because he also the way he talks is almost intellectual, like you said, slow, and like he's got his facts behind, being very confident in what he's saying. But when it comes to the information, I know what you mean. But when it comes to the information that he gives, it's just plain out either showing ignorance, or he's just, like I said, playing dumb. And I think it's more playing dumb than playing ignorance, because he has been corrected on this exact subject before.
Well, when I listened to him talk, when I said the word slow, I didn't mean slow as in collected. I meant slow as in retarded. Because when you speak slowly, you give your opponent time to think. When you speak fast, like Austin Witt's it, what you're doing is you're applying a scattergun approach. And he doesn't do that. He does speak slowly in terms of like allowing you time to think, but he doesn't formulate his sentences properly. He doesn't formulate them like an adult, which makes me think that he doesn't actually know the problem with this particular argument. So, like, normally I would say all of the protagonists, like, I don't know, Red's rhetoric and Fight the Flat Earth and all that, they all know which arguments to not argue, because they know, oh, well, if they come back with certain points, we're dead. Yeah. So they all make it about the person rather than the topic itself. But with Dave McKeegan, I can't tell whether it's intentional or not because the way he speaks. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he addresses the conundrum that he's got, because what I suspect he'll do when he has the problems that when we address the problems that he has, rather than address them properly and say, well, actually, you're wrong because this is the gas law that gives directionality to gas, and here is the demonstration of the directionality of gas in a downwards direction. Rather than do that, he's going to say something like, Flatzoid doesn't understand. He thinks he's debunked me. This isn't a debunk. He's just a moron. And then he's going to get people cheering in the background, giving him the moral push.
I would love to see that gas law that says gas go down, go boom boom.
I'm not even asking any of them anymore any other questions other than that. I want to know the gas law that describes the directionality of gas, and I also want to know why do they think gravity is still? Why do they still think gravity is a force, even though it isn't?
But even even in physics, even if they gave gravity as a force, it still has no effect on the direction of gas. It's literally that's just physics 101.
Yeah, they're moving that fast with such force behind them. The magnitude of the gravitational force that they think does exist is negligible. It's so small that it has no effect because of the power of the molecule, the speed it's moving at.
Yeah.
The speed of the molecule is moving at, and the force that it's moving at with. It doesn't have any effect. But even if it did have, and we can give them it just for shits and giggles, where's that description of the directionality of gas? Because I've checked. There is a description of gas that doesn't have directionality to it. It's called the Joule expansion effect, and that describes how gas is moving all directions randomly, without any preferred bias in any direction at all. But they must have one that tells them, well, there's a directionality of gas in the downwards or earthwards direction. And I've looked everywhere for it, Flatzoid, and I can't find it anywhere.
It doesn't exist. That's the thing. Yeah, the Joule's free expansion of gas explains it going everywhere. Or constantly. If the person just understands that gas can only change direction with a collision because it has elastic collisions. It's
Yeah,
as simple as
perfectly
that.
elastic.
Yeah, it's perfectly
There's
elastic. The temperature.
Yeah, there's no losses.
Yeah, the thing is that the kinetic energy is only molecule. So it jiggles faster and it moves faster, but it doesn't change direction. They want to attribute, you see, it's losing kinetic energy because it's losing temperature. So therefore it has to fall back down to Earth, which is nonsense. It's bogus. That's not what gas does. Gas doesn't have that behavior.
Well, I mean, there is there is an actual rebuttal that they've got, but none of them have actually looked into it yet. Like when it comes out, if it ever does come out, I don't think it ever will, but if it does ever come out, I'm ready with the rebuttal if they ever get to it.
Yeah.
But until they ever get to it, we just keep asking that one question, because it doesn't matter whether horizons this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter whether, I don't know, whether they've got a measurement of the curvature of the Earth or anything like that. At the end of the day, we ask them about their model, their working model, and they go, oh yeah, right, yeah, all right, you've got a globe. Right, show me how the gas be. Stick that globe in a vacuum chamber and show me how gas pressure forms around it, or stick it in like gas and show me a vacuum existing around the Earth. Either or works fine, because you need to have a container to do both. They're equal and opposite arguments, but they think legitimate. They think that you can have gas pressure without. And therefore, the must also be true. They must also think that you can have a vacuum without on Earth.
Yeah.
Yet we know that nature abhors a vacuum. But for me, that's the only question that you need to ask them, and they just will not answer it.
Exactly.
They hate it. They'll dance around it like it's a hot fire, and they don't want to burn the toes. But try it. Try asking them, like, which gas law proves the directionality of gas. I've looked and I can't find one. And we have got the opposing one that says it's the free expansion of gas.
Yeah. Well, we've got every single gas law in existence which requires it to show it needs containment. Heck, even the atmospheric laws, the substance laws are based on ideal gas laws and Dalton's law. Everything still requires volume. It requires containment, and it requires the gas to be expanding in every direction. The people, it's just total plain dishonesty from them. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It is. I completely agree.
Okay, Rachel sent me this link. She says it's short to see what we want to say about the gas go down, go boom boom. You want to see that quickly before we start, McKeegan?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, let's see.
Use ordinary wooden ruler. I will put it on this table and I will hit it with my hand like this.
Now you stick a piece of paper on it. It's called friction, yeah.
Snap it.
It flies away. Did I impress you? No. But now I will take the same ruler. I
With
will
paper.
put it on the table. I will put this piece of newspaper on the top and I will hit it again.
Yeah, and now it won't go flying.
Are you ready? Let's
This is an old thing. It's
Probably-
just a
probably
friction. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
friction.
probably snap it as well.
No, the thing
No?
is, it's just friction. It just stops the ruler from
I
falling
think the ruler
down.
will snap.
Yeah, I think the ruler will snap. It will snap.
Yeah, look, it can, but I'm just saying that I think the point is the paper is able to hold the ruler down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's because
No,
of the
that's
surface
not-
area, because that's the surface area.
Yeah, it's the surface area. That's right.
That's all it is.
And also, I mean, when you hit the ruler,
Surface tension.
you got to
Yeah.
push the ruler. You got to push the ruler and the paper up against the air, and they've got to collide, didn't
I
they?
still don't understand what this has got to do with gas go down, go boom boom, though. But we'll see.
You know what I mean?
do
That's
it.
right.
Look at
She
this.
broke it. Yeah.
It broke. What happened? The atmospheric pressure.
Atmospheric pressure.
No.
Oh god.
Wow.
This Rachie, if you're actually listening, this woman's replicating a guy that did physics when we were all in high school. Maybe a little bit. It's probably way before your time.
Llewellyn did it as well. What's it? Physics guy Llewellyn, whatever. He also did it. No, it's not atmospheric pressure. It's surface tension due to the friction based on the surface area of the newspaper. What the hell?
Yeah, and it's not atmospheric pressure, because the reality is atmospheric pressure, like Nathan says, is an oxymoron. You can't have sphere-shaped air, because air does not conform to the exterior shape of an object.
But you know,
It conforms to the interior shape of an object, not an exterior. So atmospheric pressure is an oxymoron.
I mean, you can do this in a vacuum too, by the way. Yeah, Walter Lewin. There we go, Rachie. You can do this in a vacuum as well. Is the atmospheric pressure still going to do this? You see, this is the problem I have with some of these people. Because she's a professor, quote unquote, says this, so therefore everybody's just going to believe it. It shows you how gullible people are. This has got nothing to do with atmospheric pressure whatsoever. It's literally just surface tension. It's the friction. I mean, have you guys seen when you take a phone book, 2 phone books, and you just put the pages in between each other like a sandwich, and you can't pull it apart? The friction between there holds it together. It's the surface area.
Hey, Rachie, go and look up a guy called Julius Sumner Miller. He's dead now, but his videos demonstrating physics principles are brilliant, because now you know that there's a bit of a question mark over certain things in the topic. When you watch Julius Sumner Miller, he literally cryptically says things like, he gives clues, he leaves breadcrumbs for you to recognize that he knows that this is nonsense. So he'll tell you a statement, and then he'll say something like, and remember, Isaac Newton did not ever feign a hypothesis for gravity as a force, or words to that effect. The very fact that he says that kind of thing tells you that he knows that this is not the explanation, but he's telling it you cryptically so that people can't call him a flat earther or a science denier or anything else like that. Julius Sumner Miller. Watch his demonstrations that he does. Listen carefully. There's always a tagline that he puts in there on purpose. It's brilliant to watch when you realize that things aren't what you're being told they are, because he's acknowledging it, but you've got to be intelligent to recognize it. But they're out there, Rachie. Julius Sumner Miller. Brilliant guy. Brilliant guy.
Yeah. Okay, you guys ready to watch McKeegan?
Aye.
Yeah,
Okay. He says flat Earth answers to gravity wouldn't stop space existing.
Hello, everybody.
Flat
Hope you do.
Sorry?
Flat Earth answers... Say that again. Flat Earth answers what?
Flat Earth answers to gravity wouldn't stop space existing. His whole argument is...
Yeah, it would. It would, mate. It would. Do you know why? Because even if gravity was the container, which it can't be because there's no directionality of gas law, but even if gravity was the container, you need to demonstrate this thing. And the flat Earth answer, therefore, does remove space being a vacuum. Because if space was a vacuum, all of that glorious, 14.7 psi would press into it following the dual expansion of gas law. You don't have a gas law to counter that. You need your own blurf gas law that states that gases will pool at the surface of Earth. And there isn't one. We've checked. So it does remove space being a thing. It negates it from being the sky. We're not looking into the vacuum of space when we see the stars, Dave McKeegan. We're not. That does debunk your nonsense.
I just gotta give a shout out to Moomin Rider. It's his 53rd birthday. What's up? Happy birthday, Moomin Rider. Really appreciate you coming in on your birthday, man. Many blessings.
Happy birthday, mate.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Moomin
He says,
Rider.
what did you all get?
Happy birthday.
What did you all gloves get for me? A demo of pressure without container?
Yeah, that's the best gift ever.
Well, it's good to have you here, man. Thank you for coming. And everybody else that just joined, thank you for coming. It's good to see you guys. Okay, so anyway, McKeegan's whole argument is even a flat Earth space should still exist. And yeah, we'll see what his argument is. The reason. Let's see.
Well, and thanks for joining us for another video. One of the most common flat Earth arguments that gets put forward against the globe is the notion that we apparently can't just be there in space without some sort of a container holding the atmosphere in, otherwise it would just escape off into space.
Yeah, based on natural law, that's what would happen. Every gas law detects this. Natural law detects this. The second law of the thermodynamics detects this, man. And just as Sleeping Warrior has been pointing out, Joule's law for expansion of gas, it dictates this. Weird how all you guys have is, I claim gravity! That is not a force that I think to act like a force because I need it to be a force, even though if it was a force, it still wouldn't do anything to gas. No, it's just idiotic.
They're going to start claiming refraction affects gravity too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I got told? when I told somebody that we need a gas law that describes this notion of a downwards bias to gas pressure, right? When I told him that you haven't got one, do you know what his rebuttal was? That's just your opinion. And I'm like, no, that's not an opinion. That's a debunk to the claim that there's a directionality of gas. If there is no directionality of gas law, which there isn't, then it means that there is no directionality of gas. That's not an opinion. That's pointing out with precision where there is a hole in your nonsense. Your evidence is missing. You don't have a gas law. You don't have a demonstration. There is nothing to show a directionality of gas.
Exactly.
We've checked. That debunks the notion. It's not my opinion. That's just a problem that you guys have got that you can't get over.
Exactly. Eric Holdler says, can you cite these laws, please? How many times do I have to cite them? Avogadro's law, Gay-Lussac's law, Boyle's law,
Well,
Dalton's law.
right.
Yeah.
We just need the dual expansion of gas law.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one that debunks space being a vacuum.
The
Because
thing is, you can use any gas law. Every single gas law requires containment, so it doesn't matter which one you're using. The Joule's expansion of gas is just awesome because it shows it will expand outwards unless you have something holding it in. This is why
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's the point. It pushes out, right? It spreads out. It doesn't go in. There's no directionality to it. It's free expansion. That debunks your nonsense, guys. This is the only topic that we ever need to talk to them about, in my opinion, because they haven't got a supporting gas law. They haven't got a demonstration that they need to show directionality of gas. And even if they did have, the problem they've got is it's always in a container. Always, always, always. Which debunks the notion that space can be in the sky.
Well, look at even when they try and even when they, let's say, take the sulfur hexafluoride and they stick it in a fish tank, they say, see, gas is going down, kaboom. No, the gas is still dispersing. It's just denser, so it takes longer to disperse. That's why it's called the arrow of time. The denser the gas, the longer it takes.
And the other thing that they don't tell you about in that, when they pour the sulfur hexafluoride in a fish tank, they don't tell you that in the fish tank already, there's 14.7 psi of pressure that they call atmospheric pressure, right? There's already that fish tank's not a vacuum, but you're putting gas in there that's pressing against all the molecules that are already in there, and those molecules are bigger, fatter, and slower moving than the ones that are already in there. But you know what? It still needs a lid.
I'm going to be showing you.
Yeah.
Why does the container or the fish tank need a lid to keep the sulfur hexafluoride in there? It's because if you don't have the lid, it'll disperse. What does that tell you? That there's no directionality of gas. Otherwise, because it's a slower, fatter, heavier gas molecule, it would stay in the fish tank. But it doesn't do that, does it? It leaks out the fish tank. Why? Because there's no directionality of gas.
Yeah. Rachel sent us again showing he did it in a vacuum. There we go, see? In a vacuum. There we go, she's debunked. Not atmospheric pressure.
Show us it without the container to create the vacuum, Rachel. Show us that bit.
No, but the point is, her argument was the atmospheric pressure causes this to happen. So it, he just dropped that ball on there in a vacuum, and the surface area of the paper hold it down because of friction. So it wasn't the atmospheric pressure that causes it. Making my point. So she was debunked. Well done, Action Lab. Woohoo! That's what I say. The people are very, very how can I put it, gullible just to believe just because she says something. That was not a vacuum. Mr. 42, there was a vacuum. He literally put it in a vacuum. That's what Action Lab does. He does it in a vacuum. Okay, so let's go on with McKeegan.
Now, the globe answer to that is, of course, gravity. The mass of Earth attracts everything else around it that also has mass, and that includes gas molecules. To which flat earthers say gravity isn't real and we can't prove it's actually there. Except we can, but that's going to be a separate video.
Ooh, he's going to do a video on proving gravity.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be good.
He'll be the first person ever.
Did you see the picture that you showed? It was one of those cartoon CGI things.
Anthony, I thought you would have been.
Show us the real world example where you've got gas pressure conforming to the exterior of a shape when space is supposed to be the vacuum. will let you use a vacuum chamber to create the vacuum in the first place, even though you're using a container.
Yeah.
But show us that actually happening, where you shove a ball in a vacuum and then put in a little bit of gas and it conforms to the exterior of the ball. Show us that.
Well, now.
I thought you would have been all over him there, Anthony, with mass attracting mass.
Well, I'm prepared to give them gravity as mass attracting mass. It doesn't give directionality of gas.
Okay, I'm going to say it again to Mr. 42. On screen, look at the barometric pressure. He's made it into a vacuum, and then he drops it. So stop telling me it's not a vacuum. Get with it. Really? Okay. Well, anyway, you see, them saying mass attracting mass is literally just their own globatoric belief. But yeah, I'm glad he says he's gonna. Oh, I'm glad he says he's gonna be doing the
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing
the video on gravity, so that'll be good.
Gravity isn't real, and we can't prove it's actually there. Except we can, but that's going to be a separate video.
Good.
I mean, it's not like gravity's using Atlas VPN.
That's just adverts.
Oh, wow.
Now, while flat earthers might reject the notion of gravity, they obviously can't reject that when we...
No, I don't think he understands. We don't reject the notion of gravity. You can't reject something that doesn't exist. You first have to prove it.
Yeah, we reject the claim of gravity because they've never demonstrated it. And even so, like even though they've never demonstrated it, it's no longer considered to be a force in science anyway. So I don't know how you're going to demonstrate something that's not even a force. But they just say the word, and it's like a magic. It's like a spell. It's like, you know, like when you're hypnotized and someone clicks the fingers and they wake back up and they're in the room. Well, when they say gravity, that's the same as them clicking the fingers, and they go all of a sudden they just think that they live on a ball because of it. It's literally brainwashing.
Yep. Exactly. But it's crazy, yeah. Gravity, if it's not a force, which it's claimed to not be a force, you can't have a fictitious force present. For a fictitious force to arise, you require an actual force to be present. No actual force, you can't have a fictitious force. It's as simple as that.
Right. No, that's not right. If for a fictitious force to exist, you have to have an acceleration, because that's the perceived acceleration.
And an acceleration requires a force, correct?
Well, a fictional, an apparent force or a fictional force requires an acceleration, and when you're on that object that's moving, and then something appears to be moving because of that acceleration.
But the bottom of the bottom of the line is to have the acceleration you require force. So the fictional force has to arise from an actual force. No actual force, no fictitious force.
Correct.
And they don't have any. So they're literally dead in the water. They're throwing away all physics to suit their belief system. The ruler does flip up. Watch till the end. How much time do we have to watch this? The guy literally just did it in a vacuum. Oh.
Sounds like tactics to not be debunking
McKeegan, but we're going to get there anyway. Okay, it's a full vacuum. Okay, drop it now. Ooh. So it did go up now. What's he saying there?
Or just pops right off. So this is a pretty definitive test to show that it is atmospheric pressure that's holding the paper on there.
Could I be wrong? You know what? I want him to do it again. But I don't want him to use that box. I want him to use a paper with another paper. But if I was wrong, I was wrong. But definitely doesn't make... But it's not as...
It is the atmospheric pressure. No. It's not the atmospheric pressure. It's the pressure pressing on the piece of paper that they call atmospheric pressure. We just call pressure.
But look at this.
Because they want you...
But I gotta say something here. Look at this. Look at the gaps between here. Okay? Obviously, when there's air in there, yeah, you got air pushing up all over the place. That makes sense.
But it's more like a bit of card than a bit of paper anyway, doesn't it? It's stiffer.
But the thing is now, if it's not going to make proper contact there and you drop, it will lift up. I mean, there's space between there. You see the space between there?
Yeah.
So it's not sitting properly, so I would say it's a null result. Maybe you should try it again. This time just make sure the paper's lying properly. Yeah, sorry?
It is demonstrating pressure, but it's just not demonstrating atmospheric pressure because that's an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. It's one of those words that they've invented to create.
But I thought the whole argument was gas pressure doesn't require containment.
Well, it is, but Rachie, I thought I considered Rachie's point as a like a tangent point, not a.
No, gas go down, go boom. Her argument was gas go down, go boom, boom. So she's saying the gas holds it down, which is not the truth. The gas is still bouncing all over in every direction. The pressure wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the container.
The question is, does Rachie accept that there's pressure pressing on that piece of paper in all directions, all the way around it, not just down? Does she agree that it's pressing in all directions, like including on the underside of the paper, pushing up? Does she accept that? If she accepts that, then there's no atmospheric pressure pressing down. It's pressing around in all directions, and what that means is that the force that's required to push that against the pressure that's pressing on it is more than the strength of the ruler that snaps. That's what that literally means.
Look at the trolls in chat. I just said yes, I was wrong. I consider that it probably has atmospheric pressure to do with it. Now look at how they're going on. Shame. I can still guarantee you now, if you did it again properly with more surface tension, it probably wouldn't give the same effect. Actually, I want to get myself a vacuum chamber. I think I can do quite a few different tests.
Throw an object up into the air, it comes back down.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Yeah, the object comes back down. Why would that be, McKeegan?
And since Newton's laws of motion state that without a force acting on an object, it would continue travelling up into the air, the fact that it comes back down means something must be making it come back down.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be. Maybe the imbalance of the densities? Maybe because that ball is denser than the air around it and it's used up its energy you've put into the system? Weird. Now let's take gas for instance. If gas goes up, it has perfect elastic collisions. It never comes back down unless it has a collision.
When you put an object into motion, it don't carry on going forever in reality, though, does it? That's only wouldn't it be in a vacuum, or like what they're claiming is space, you know?
Yeah.
You throw a ball, it don't go forever.
No, of course not.
You see, at the end of the day, it's very simple. Gas doesn't behave like that ball he just threw up. A ball does not have perfect elastic collisions. A ball will change direction. I mean, with a force acting on or whatever. A gas particle has perfect elastic collisions. It can only change direction with a collision. So yeah, it's very simple. But note that all the demonstrations they give always require containment. Always. By the way, guys, thanks for coming. Please hit the share and like button. It really, really does help the show to grow. And no, I never said I get everything right. No one ever says that. Get with it, guys.
Oh, it'd be higher the further up you go. The atmospheric pressure gradient on a globe is obviously caused...
Wait. Let's see what he says again.
Whoa. The atmospheric pressure on a gradient is obviously called...
Wait, no, he was... I forwarded quite a further... I don't know why, sorry. That's where we were. I was like, what the hell's going on? Okay. Sorry.
That if an object has a higher density than its surroundings, it will sink. If it doesn't, it will float. Others say it's electrostatics, that all objects possess charged particles and that the Earth itself is charged, which causes objects to be attracted to it. Except, despite there being plenty of observations we can make that show those suggestions don't work, both of them would still allow space to exist without a barrier in place, shown by the fact that our atmosphere has a pressure gradient to it. The higher you go, the less air there is. And that isn't a case of the pressure's decreasing just because it's colder up there. The density of the air itself reduces too, i.e. there is physically less air molecules the higher you go.
Yeah, Avogadro's law. Well done, mate. Gas law, Avogadro's law. Well done. So the wider the volume with less gas available, so less pressure. Great. So what do you know? What does Avogadro's law state, guys? Volume needed. Containment. What a knob. See, this is the problem I have with these people. They always move. I always have I give the argument 1, 2, and 3 argument. And they always start with number 3. They're never always ignoring number 2 and number 1. Number 1, you require containment. Then you can move to step 2, pressure in that containment. Then you can move to number 3 to have the gas pressure gradient. They always skip 1 and 2 and move straight to number 3 and say, see, pressure gradient, so therefore no containment. But they've ignored number 1 and 2. It's not hard to understand.
Otherwise, planes...
Ooh, what? Sorry. Something happened. My headphone came out. Okay.
They liked.
Okay, I'm not going to answer Eric anymore. Okay, let's see.
What's he keep saying?
Which gas law specifically states required containment? Every bloody single one in existence, Eric. Show me one that doesn't.
Wow.
Even your atmospheric law dictates containment, Eric.
Eric, any gas law or calculation where V equals volume requires a container. If the V equals volume is infinity or infinite, what do you think that does to every other part of the equation? Fails, Eric, because anything multiplied by infinity equals infinity. Therefore, 0, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Sea level, the density of air is about 1.2 kilograms per meter cubed. Meaning if you were to take a box of air that was 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter and you placed it on a set of scales, the air within that box would weigh 1.2 kilos.
Sorry, Michael?
You're no sound.
You serious?
Yeah.
I won't be saying it for laugh.
Speaking 1 2 1 2 because my earphones went out. It shows my microphone. Can you guys hear me talk?
Yeah, we hear you.
There was no sound in the video.
Okay, let's see if the video's still coming up. Can I go back 10 seconds maybe?
Take a box of air that was
now?
1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter.
Okay, maybe it's just in Element. Let me just go out of Element again. Okay, can I just go out of Element, back in, entire screen, blah blah blah, share. Now it should work, hopefully. Okay.
And you placed it on a...
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so what he's saying, you take a box. Okay, I'm gonna just go 10 seconds, you can do that.
density of air is about 1.2 kilograms per meter cubed. Meaning if you were to take a box of air that was 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter and you placed it on a set of scales, the air within that box would weigh 1.2 kilos. At 30,000 feet, the ambient air in that box would weigh only 0.02.
I love how he's showing a box for all these
I was going to say, show it without the box, dickhead.
Oh wow! This is why I laugh.
It's a broken box.
When they say, "Oh, take a barometer up and measure air pressure." Okay, take a container up to measure air pressure. Well done, idiots.
2 kilos. And by 85,000 feet, which is around where the SR-71 flew, it would weigh less than 0.0.
Tell me something. Why did the SR-71 have a window, a closed compartment?
And you know what he's done there? He's applied Thingy's law, hasn't he? The Boltzmann constant, right? He's applied the Boltzmann formula to calculate the probability that the gas pressure
at that elevation would equal whatever it is. Right? He's
The Boltzmann-
calculated it. He hasn't demonstrated it. He's not measured it. He's just used a calculation to get what he thinks is there.
But that's what I'm
I
saying.
was just gonna say that I'd like to see somebody measuring, weighing a box at 80,000 feet.
But you see,
Yeah.
you see, that's the thing. The Boltzmann constant requires Avogadro's law. So,
And it also requires a container to ever apply it.
Exactly.
Always requires a container.
Exactly.
Now he's got the container, but he ignores the fact that there's a container there to make his point. How convenient for you.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, what do they think PVNRT stands for? I mean, what's that N? What's the amount?
What's the V stand for?
What's the V stand for?
Yeah, what's that V stand for in PV equals nRT,
How
right?
can
It
you
means
have
volume?
How can you have a mount without a volume?
How can you have a volume when it's infinite?
That's insane. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't get it. That's why I say even the atmospheric laws literally show it requires containment.
Most of them, to be fair, most of them do get it. Most of them are overtly lying. Conspiracy Cats gets it. That's why he won't ever speak to us anymore, because he'll only go to places where he knows that he can get away with that. But most of them do know it. In this instance with McKeegan, I don't think he does know that. I think that he's yet to learn that. But it would be interesting to know what he thinks or what he says once he learns that PV equals nRT and that V equals volume, and where the volume is infinity. What does that do to your sums, Dave McKeegan? And if he's honest, the only answer he can give is, well, if I multiply by infinity, that equals infinity. And what does that then do to the rest of your sum? It makes that sum infinity, doesn't it? Means you haven't got any pressure. It's infinitely dispersed always. If he's honest, he'll have to concede. But what he'll do instead is he'll just completely ignore the answer, the question that I've just made, and he'll talk about something else instead. That's what he'll actually do.
Exactly.
0.00007 kilos. So there is no denying either that our atmosphere has a gradient to it. So let's remove gravity from the equation. And
Gravity wasn't in the equation, first of all.
Correct.
How can you remove something you don't
What he was
have
gonna
there?
say- What he was going to say when I said what was he going to say then? Because he said the atmosphere, the atmospheric gradient is caused by, and then you press pause. Obviously, he was going to say gravity. Well, okay, then. So that means that gravity is a force for Dave McKeegan. Then the question is, well, why do you still think gravity is a force when nobody else in physics around us thinks that gravity is a force, Dave McKeegan? Do you think that you know better than Einstein, who is considered to be the current science for gravity? Because it seems that way to me, and I can guarantee you he doesn't know more than Albert Einstein, even if he pretends that he does. He doesn't.
No, I think he's just creating straw man. Yeah, he's trying to create a magic show. Kind of look at my right hand while I try and move something on my left hand, kind of thing. You know what I mean? A bait and switch kind of thing. So he's trying to make you think. Let me try and make it sound like you don't need containment while talking fully about containment constantly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also what he's doing is, by not answering the question and talking instead, he puts time between the asking of the question and the end of his comment, whatever comment he's doing. By that point, most people have forgotten the question that was asked. But it sounds like he answered it in any event. That's what he's doing.
we'll run with the hypothesis that one of these flat Earth claims is causing the pressure gradient instead. So for electrostatics, say, everything that has mass has a charge to it that is attracted towards the Earth. So that means air molecules themselves must have a charge to them. And as there is more air closer to sea level, then that means those molecules must be being attracted towards the Earth. If the Earth was trying to repel the molecules, then they would be being pushed away from the ground, so the air pressure would be increasing as you got higher, not decreasing. If the molecules were neutral to Earth, then the air pressure would be trying to equalize, which would create equal pressure all the way from the ground up to the firmament. So the fact that we have more molecules of air nearer the Earth means that if electrostatics is the cause of the pressure gradient, it's because the Earth is attracting the air. Exactly like gravity.
Yep. Globe rhetoric. Exactly what we say to globebusters.
What he said right at the beginning is his first few words were, if we go with the flat Earth hypothesis that, That's not a flat Earth hypothesis. Firstly, nobody makes that claim other than Whitsitt and Bob Nodell, and they do not speak for everybody. Yeah, they do not speak for everybody. And secondly, you don't understand what a hypothesis is, because that isn't a hypothesis. At best, it is an alternative explanation, but it is definitely not a hypothesis, because there's no IV-DV relationship in there, is there, Dave McKeegan? No, there's not. So let's not call it a hypothesis. Let's not use words that you don't understand. Let's use the words that you do understand, like claim, because that's all that is. It's an alternative explanation that some people that are supposed to be on our side claim, and it's not representative of anybody else.
Well, let me represent their argument more precise than what Dave is straw manning it with. They claiming it is due to density that give the density layout. They just giving the directionality thanks to the electrostatics. That's all. So the directionality is what causes the electrostatics what causes the directionality according to them. That's all. So he's totally straw manning their argument, even though we don't agree with their argument at all. It's stupid. I really agree with that. And it is actually a globe claim. But yeah, he is strawmanning their argument, because that's not what they're claiming, what he's saying is going on there. But yeah, to lump it on to the rest of us, so it's not really fair.
So it wouldn't require a container because the Earth itself is keeping the air contained.
No. You still need a container because there's pressure. Pounds per square inch. If this is what I'm saying. If you understand what gas behavior is, you wouldn't give this argument. You can have all the electrostatics in the world you want. The gas should still need containment to exist. No container, no gas pressure. Electrostatics will not stop gas from going away.
Gents, I gotta drop. It's time to do stuff, so have fun. See you soon.
Cheers, man. Thanks for coming, mate. Cheers. But you understand, just based on gas behavior alone, the electrostatics is not going to keep it that it doesn't need containment. This is just really ignorance on another level.
It's just saying it'd mean that gas won't have a behavior.
Yeah, he's saying it's going to be uniform.
It's
in
not
other words.
different to gravity claim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they ignore that even with their gravity and their they're claiming, the gas is still, this is what I like about Dalton's law, it's still conglomerate of all gases. It's mixture. It's not just sorting out in the densities as they want it to happen. If they're really having their argument, why are we not dying now from CO2?
Yep.
Because CO2 pooling would be everywhere. We would have no oxygen because oxygen would be going up. Would we have to swim through the CO2 to get to the oxygen just so we can breathe? It's crazy.
It's definitely
And it's a
crazy.
similar story with density, or relative density disequilibrium, as many flat earthers call it.
LJ, Jaron doesn't like me. He definitely won't debate me, mate.
Wow.
Would you want to debate him?
No, the guys are... No, I don't like that guy one bit, by the way.
I need as much distance between me and them as physically possible.
Get that, man.
I mean, you saw, everybody can watch on my channel what I think of Jaron.
That an object will move depending on its density versus the density of its surroundings. So if you drop a stone into water, the stone is more dense than the surrounding water, so it sinks. If you drop a ping pong ball, it's less dense than the water, so it floats. But the ball is still more dense than the air above the water, so it doesn't go any higher than the surface of the water. But even that argument doesn't actually seem to be a problem for the notion of space without a barrier.
What?
Because, as we've already established, the density of the atmosphere decreases the higher you go, which means for any given altitude...
Why is the density decreasing the higher you go? Dave, that's what you should be asking. Not because the density decreases, therefore you don't need containment. Again, skipping 1 and 2 to get to 3. 3 can only exist after 2 and 1 have been shown to exist.
Yep.
It's like saying I'm eating chicken tonight and don't have a chicken. But because I have feathers from a chicken, so therefore I do have a chicken to eat. That's the same what he's saying. The feather won't exist if the chicken wasn't there. Just like the pressure gradient wouldn't exist if the containment wasn't there.
The air at that altitude will be more dense than the air above it, so it can't rise up. And any amount of air pressure will have a higher density than a perfect vacuum. So by flat earthers' own logic of relative density disequilibrium, the atmosphere couldn't escape into space because that would be higher density moving into lower density.
No, Dave. This also comes again. Gas behavior. Can anybody explain to him how gas behaves, please? Because I think we've said this so many times.
I don't really know how to explain it for it to understand.
It goes on all directions and doesn't change direction unless they hit off each of that or the container.
Yeah, gas moves in all directions.
Adam Meekin once shared a cartoon or a box and a pump attached to it, and you press pump and it blew a few molecules in and they were all bouncing all over, and then it showed it you with with lid half off and they were all bouncing around, and every now and again one would pop out, you know what I mean, but they weren't popping out often because they were all bouncing around the box, do you know what I mean? If gas is created at sea level, and then there's all sorts of things, there's buildings, mountains, trees, all sorts of stuff to be bouncing off, so only now and again does some get a bit higher, and then there might be gas molecules hitting each other in air, and then one gets even further out, you know what I mean? So there's not going to be many higher up. I don't know how really to explain it. I mean, it's simple to me.
It's simple. Like I try and explain in very simple terms. Let's take a fish tank, for instance, and you stick rocks and things at the bottom, and you got all the things. You know, you're setting it nice up for a fish. There's less volume at the bottom of the fish tank compared to the top. There's more area to fill at the top of the fish tank. Now, if the gas is forming at the bottom, okay, it's got more collision, so aka there's more pressure, there's more stuff to hit with more stuff hitting it and more constantly, so the pressure's higher. The higher you go up, there's less stuff to hit, further distances for that stuff to, and because there's already less of that stuff to move around, there's less pressure. That's all. That's the simplest way of putting it, because we live in a dynamic system. We have things like weather systems, we got temperature changes, we got pressure changes, we got wind, we got, you got dynamic. It's a dynamic system. It's a mixture of different densities of gases moving in all directions, constantly bombarding into one another, getting heated and cooled, changing temperatures, changing the densities. It's always moving constantly in all directions and mixing. It's not hard to understand. If you go up over Mount Everest, where is the collisions going to happen? Go down to ground level, there's much more surfaces to hit, with much more gas to hit off of. It's not hard to understand.
And that's ignoring that space isn't even claimed to be a perfect vacuum. It's only a near-perfect vacuum.
He's trying to downplay what space is supposed to be, guys.
Yeah.
Space is claimed to be 10 to the minus 17 tall. We can't even get close to replicating that. Not even close. I think the best we can do is the Sandusky, Ohio vacuum chamber. 10 to the minus 6 tall, I believe. Right. And even that is like under hectic limitations, and it's really built to like a bomb shelter.
Yeah. Maybe it'll just implode, wouldn't it?
Smoky Bacon has no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, I know. I know.
Okay, so this is the Sandusky, Ohio Look at that. Look how thick these doors are. How much?
That's mental.
Yeah. Look at all the concrete they have to have, and even that pushes it to its limitations that it can't even get close to what space is supposed to be as a vacuum, guys.
Crazy, isn't it?
You don't have to show a container to know that there's pressure. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. The point that there's gas pressure shows that there's a container.
What you need to do is show how you get pressure without a container. That's what you need to show. We don't need to show how. You need to show that.
Yeah, we're showing containment with everything. The argument is simple. You claim gas pressure can exist without containment. So go and present it. Simple as that. Not make excuses why you always have to bring containment.
So we don't have atmosphere next to vacuum. We essentially have very, very, very low gas pressure next to even slightly lower gas pressure. Now, if
okay, that's what I've got to point out again. The same system. Earth is claimed to be a separate system to space. What does the second law of thermodynamics state if you have two separate systems adjacent to each other? One with a higher pressure, one with a lower pressure.
Go on.
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Who's saying go on?
Yeah, I was saying something at the same time, and I just said
high pressure goes to low pressure.
Well, it's simple. The gas will fill the available space. So the high pressure from the highest system will instantaneously fill the low pressure separate system. Now what these guys don't get, let's say this container here, for instance, has pressure gradient in it. Why is it not just equalizing? Well, it is trying to equalize. It can't really, because it lives in a dynamic system as you put in Earth. Okay? Why is it not filling to go to space? Oh, because it's contained. Now, if you got an open system, it's two separate systems. Low pressure system, high pressure system. Note that the systems are two separate systems. If you're claiming, look, I got a tornado in the same system, it's a same system. It's a dynamic system. The gases are moving constantly in the same system. They're still filling the available volume. They're just moving in different directions because it's dynamic. Not hard to understand. As soon as you take that lid off, no matter if you've got a pressure gradient inside, it will instantaneously move to fill the available space presented to it. Because gas, as I've said it before, can only change direction with a collision. It has what we call a perfect elastic collision. So it bounces all the time in all directions until it hits something to change direction. Take that lid away, it will bounce away and never return. Not hard to understand.
And why don't gassy people walk around smelling all the time? If you know, they don't have to fart now. They just start smelling because the gas is just leaking out everywhere.
Exactly.
If you released helium in a room, it would need the ceiling to contain it. Otherwise, it would be free to keep flying up. But if we look at experiments with, say, sulfur hexafluoride, which is a very...
Notice they just brought this in a container. Why would they need to bring in a container? Couldn't they just bring it in a bucket? Yeah, Sean, your argument. Because I know Sean is probably watching this. Why didn't they bring the sulfur hexafluoride in a bucket, guys?
Yeah, stick it in their pockets, hold it in their hands.
Yeah. Why do you need to bring it in a sealed container? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because it will disperse into the available volume.
Very dense gas. You can put that into an open top jar and it will stay there. You can float balloons on top of it to know it's still in there. It will not try to equalize into the room.
That's false. It is equalizing. While we're watching this right now, it's equalizing. It's denser, it just takes longer. That's why it's got what we call the arrow of time. Something that is denser takes more energy to move. So it's going to take more bombardments to get it out. More time to get it out. It is busy filling the available space. If you left this open, after a certain time it will be in the available space. There won't be sulfur hexafluoride in here indefinitely. Ever.
Because the gas is denser than the surrounding air. So once again, the fact that we have a pressure gradient shows we don't need a container holding it in. If we needed a container to hold the atmosphere in, the atmosphere would be like the helium balloon, actively trying to get higher, which again would mean that
a helium balloon is not gas. Take the balloon away and only have helium itself, bouncing in all directions constantly. I don't know how much more we can prove this to. I mean, explain it to this guy. Do you guys have any advice on trying to explain this to anti-flat earthers?
I don't think it's. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's start with a chalkboard and chalk, or just some crayons or something, and draw it out. I think bit by bit. But other than that,
I don't think if you took them there and showed it to them, they would probably help.
Captain Crunch, gas can only change direction with a collision. Okay? The kinetic energy we're talking about is only on a molecular level. So the gas moves faster or slower. It never stops moving. You can't get it to 0 Kelvin. So it will always move away. It can only change direction with a collision. So if the gas molecule had started here and it bounced and it goes and it's missing all the other molecules hitting it, it will just go away and never return unless it has a collision to return. The mere fact that we are able to breathe shows gas does return to be able to get consumed and recycled.
pressure would be higher the further up you go. The atmospheric pressure gradient on a globe is obviously caused by gravity.
What did he just say? Pressure gradient be higher the upper you go?
Actively trying to get higher, which again would mean the pressure would be higher the further up.
What? So because helium balloon, therefore
I
pressure
think he's
wants to
confusing two different forces, right? He's confusing buoyancy with density. Buoyancy is different because things float like gases. They're different, right?
Yeah, but he's trying to false equivocate now a balloon, a helium balloon, saying because the helium balloon wants to force itself upwards, therefore everything that's denser is trying to force out. The guy's wrong.
Well, yeah, you're right. But he's, like I said, he's confusing that. Like when you fill up a helium balloon and you take it to ground level, it probably is more buoyant at ground level, and it probably gets less and less buoyant as it rises. That might be true, but that doesn't change the shape of the Earth, does it?
No. But what I'm saying is this guy's literally wrong. Because a helium balloon goes up, because it's less dense, it doesn't mean the atmosphere plane will cause the density to be higher at the top. That's just idiotic.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's buoyancy, it's not density. Density goes the opposite direction.
You go. The atmospheric pressure gradient on a globe is obviously caused by gravity, and if gravity suddenly stopped right now...
Gravity didn't exist, so it can't stop. Again, just like we always say, it's not a force.
Yes, the atmosphere would be free to expand into space because gravity is what is holding the atmosphere down.
What is gravity? How does gravity hold gas down? If you don't even know what gravity is, you guys claim it's a mathematical construct in the fourth dimension. It's bending two man-made constructs. It's bending time, which is a man-made construct, and it's bending space, which is a man-made construct. How does it bend those things? They are not even physical. And even if it bends it, how is that holding gas down?
But if we're saying that gravity's not there to begin with, and yet we still have a pressure gradient, then both explanations of relative density and electrostatics would still allow space to exist without a barrier,
No.
even on a globe.
No.
I think a few flat earthers...
No. Again, false equivocating a bouncy ball, for instance, to a gas molecule is really idiotic. Gas does not go down, go boom boom like a fish tank full of bouncy balls. Gas moves in all directions constantly.
seem to envisage...
Sorry?
I'm just surprised. He's as stupid as he looks. Look at that globe. Look at that globe behind him, that half eye, all that symbolism.
But I can't believe he actually made this video and published it.
Well, obviously he's got cronies that believe what he says, I guess. I don't know.
It don't matter because people just pat him on the back, like, you know, they're all as thick as each other. So he's doing well. So it don't really matter what shite he puts out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got a point.
Ridiculous world we live in. You know, not the world itself. But yeah.
Now you know why I keep guessing on whether or not it's really still the real world.
That's why we found ourselves where we found ourselves, being deceived about nature of Earth. You know, too many people pushing shite.
Yeah. And see the crab standing behind him, man. Oh my.
The vacuum of space being like a giant hoover that physically pulls air.
Oh my word. How many times do you have to explain this?
I know.
A vacuum cleaner doesn't suck.
No, vacuum cleaner does suck.
No, it
But,
doesn't.
Space doesn't suck though.
A vacuum cleaner creates a low pressure system and the air around
blowing air out of a hole that's bigger than the hole that the air is being sucked in. Yes, exactly.
So the air is forcing itself into that low pressure system, which causes the vacuum.
Yes, it creates a little tiny weather system inside of the vacuum.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think of it as like a tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
A one wind, no, a one-sided, one way. Sorry, one way.
It's crazy.
Yeah, whirlwind.
Away, but that's not the case. Vacuums are just an area without matter. There's nothing there to produce any force. But
yet you guys are claiming space, aka your vacuum, to be bending. He just contradicted his own globe model. Tell me how space, which is just nothing there, can bend, Dave, to give your gravity. Well done. Dave's just once again debunked his own globe claim. Just, you know, like when he does with triangles. He's just done it with space now as well. So space can't bend because there's nothing there. Congratulations.
See, these presentations, what Dave's getting, somebody's prepared for him, right? This ain't him. Yeah, do you agree?
I don't know. I think he's doing himself. I just think he gets help, though.
I don't think he is.
I think he gets help, but most of the thing is himself.
But, like, my thought process is if the idiot giving you this information don't know what he's talking about, then clearly whatever comes out of Dave's mouth is going to be misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
Vacuums did have a suction force to them, then the force would vary depending on the pressure of them. If only perfect vacuums produce a force, then the moment any molecules of air got into it, it's no longer a perfect vacuum and the force would stop.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But there is no such thing as a perfect vacuum. There's always a gas molecule, no matter where you want to claim a vacuum.
But even if it's an inversely proportional force, whereby a perfect vacuum produced the strongest pull and then the pull reduced as the pressure increases, that would mean that even within the flat Earth firmament, given that we know pressure at 20 plus miles up is almost a vacuum already, the air within the firmament would be getting pulled up, which would then produce lower pressure near the ground. And
again, that's just nonsense. He's trying to say the firmament is a vacuum cleaner, guys.
Wow.
Showing Merry Maid.
Wow.
And
That is really idiotic. No, Michael, that's Dave, that's not how it
We
works.
live in a Dyson.
We live in a Dyson. Yeah, it's bladeless, so.
yeah, Dyson's got cyclones in it, even more suction, you know.
This is crazy.
Pull the air back down, and repeating until the pressure was equal throughout, which would mean no pressure gradient. Although there is another flat Earth claim which wouldn't work with the globe.
I don't know how to.
Well, first of all, who said that it was that the dome was perfectly dome shaped? I mean, we don't know that, do we? I mean, it's kind of funny how they don't really know. I don't know. It doesn't seem to match up with what, at least where I'm thinking whenever I hear that.
Well,
right?
he's making claims for us again.
Yeah, that's it.
Have you not realized what anti-flat
There you go.
earthers do?
That's a better way of putting it. I'm sorry.
Have you guys not heard what happens with flat earthers? Realized they love saying on a flat earth, this is what you should. You shouldn't see horizon on a flat earth. You should see forever on a flat earth. You know, this is the idiotic stuff these guys come up with. Or,
So stupid.
yeah, because it's a flat
Which
earth.
to me doesn't make any sense, but okay,
Yeah.
yeah right.
Because they want to make claims on our behalf of what should happen on a flat earth, but in the process of showing they're totally ignorant to the claims they're trying to make. It's really stupid.
There's that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always some form of denial, and if that doesn't work, then they usually switch to making fun of you or calling you stupid or asking you how many years of grade school you went through or whatever.
Yeah.
Some flat earthers point out that relative density and electrostatics don't fit with our observations of all objects accelerating towards the ground at the same rate. And so they claim that if
Things accelerate up too, by the way. Not claim flat earth. Nobody wants to show us what flat earth looks like, though. I'm glad you understand. You're just using straw man. Yeah. Well done.
it's not gravity causing objects to accelerate towards the Earth, then perhaps it's the Earth itself.
Pushing a Dell. Okay. Yeah, let's listen to what he has to say about Dell's idiotic claims.
Accelerating up towards the objects. I.e., the Earth is accelerating upwards at a rate of 9.8 meters per second, and subsequently that pushes everything up with it. So when we throw an object up in the air, we accelerate it further. But the moment the object leaves our hand, it stops accelerating and then stays at the same speed. But the Earth continues to accelerate underneath it and catches it back up.
Delicious.
Doesn't that sound like general relativity, the equivalence principle, so globe rhetoric? Really weird.
Which makes it appear from our reference frame as though the object has fallen back to Earth.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty clever and would explain the pressure gradient. In fact, that ties in nicely to a point I'd like to clarify from one of my previous videos about gas pressure, where I said, flat earthers keep asking to see an example of gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container, yet I keep asking to see a container with a measurable pressure gradient, and so far, nothing.
I'm sure we've shown it live a few times.
He
Where
agrees. He agrees more with Dell than he does with us. So that just shows you where Dell's thoughts, do you know what I mean? What his concept of uprising Earth lies. Do you know what I mean? It's closer to a globe than, do you know what I mean? Than we allegedly are.
But it's because it is globe rhetoric. It's pushing globe rhetoric. That's what he's doing. It's flat Earth society bullshit.
Isn't it interesting that he agrees more with Dell than he does with us? It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, guys, thank you all for coming to the show. Please hit the likes and share this show. Really, really does help. Really appreciate all the support. You guys rock.
And I would like to clarify that point because I didn't really make it clear. Flat earthers tend to specifically ask to see things like 14 psi of gas pressure right next to a vacuum with no barrier, which is a total straw man anyway, because as we've just covered, the globe model doesn't claim to have 14 psi right next to a vacuum.
No. You guys claim to have two separate systems. One with a high pressure system, 14.7 psi. and the other with 10 to the minus 17 tall. Now, because you have pressure gradients, doesn't take away it's two separate systems. Again, pressure gradients, number 3. Gas pressure, number 2. Containment, number 1. No number 1, no number 2. No number 2, no number 3.
Because all the air and all the gas would escape and go all the way to the top of whatever we're stuck in, whatever that may be.
It's crazy.
There's a big pressure
I know, it
gradient
is.
in
It's
between. But my response is actually to ask to see a 14 psi pressure gradient within a container, since we know from high altitude balloons that we can get to heights where there is almost no air pressure.
14.7 psi pressure within a container. Okay,
Almost.
I'm going to do that quickly. Oh, but now how are you going to see this? Okay,
I hate it when they say almost.
almost.
What you can do? What you can do?
I'm going to show my container with 14.7 psi in it. There we go.
Well,
That is not a
when
container.
they
How
say
will
something
you
like
even
almost,
create
doesn't
a
it
number one
suggest
and
that they're
number
lying
two?
to
Who are
you?
you guys? What's going on?
So if your body isn't a container, how will you even create a number one and number two?
So Dave McKeegan, 14.7 psi in this container. Yeah, I can take the same container and go up, and the pressure gradient will change inside this container. Well done. So I've just shown, without a doubt, containment. Now we want him to show without containment. How's that?
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Such as Mr. Sensible's Mage 2 balloon that was launched from around 14 psi. It went up to about 38 kilometers or 23 miles, and the onboard barometer recorded
A barometer container. Well done, mate.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll see.
minimum pressure of about 0.04 psi. So I'm generally asked to see such extreme pressure gradients within a container.
Such extreme pressure, and you already do. We live in one.
Get a can of gas and check it. There's a gradient inside it.
Yeah.
I don't see what issue is like.
Exactly. I don't. That's why I say I don't know if it's just plain dumb or is it just ignorance.
No, yeah.
YouTube. Don't forget to put the lid on it, and it's still 14.7 psi. We've got 62 votes already. Dave cannot contain his ignorance to gas behavior. Nope, he does not get it. 42%. Yes, he's playing dumb. 23%. Dave who? 35%.
Now, it's actually pretty straightforward to produce somewhat of a pressure gradient within a container. Hell, every time you accelerate in your car, you produce a pressure gradient because when your car begins moving, the air inside doesn't until the back of the car collides with the air and pushes it forward. So under acceleration, the air pressure will be slightly higher at the back of the car than at the front until the car stops accelerating and stays at a fixed speed.
Yeah, and this is the problem that Dell has because he says it's not accelerating, it's constant. So, since it's constant, Dell, answer me this. Why are we having pressure gradients if you claim that's the reason we have pressure gradients? Whoopsie. But we never get to talk about it because the guy just calls us retards.
Hi.
Aye.
Oh, this
Then
is
the
Sorry?
I said, "Oh, this is Dell. I've been hearing about this guy. Now I realize."
Who?
I'm
Yeah. Dell is another guy. It's not this guy. If that's
This
what
is not Dell, no, this is Dave McKeegan.
Well, I got shared a channel I was supposed to look today. Street activists, where they pushing Dell's cult on the street and telling us stationary earthers we are pushing propaganda.
Gravity.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Really weird.
You sure we're not pulling gravity?
YouTube says your head is perfectly lined up with the car's front wheel.
nice.
the pressure can equalize. But of course, that analogy only works when the container is moving, so it doesn't really work for flat earthers who say the Earth is stationary. But for upwards accelerating Earth, it would work in creating a pressure gradient. And arguably, it could also require a firmament container.
Only if it's accelerating. Correct. And Dell's not claiming acceleration, so it's not going to work.
Depending on the makeup of the Earth. If we're talking about, say, for example, a disk Earth, then accelerating that upwards would push the air off the sides, so a container would be needed to stop that.
So, in other words, you just actually went against your whole argument then. So, based on the Flat Earth Society model, you would need containment. Well done.
But if the Earth is an infinite plane throughout, then it wouldn't necessarily need it because there could be an infinite band of air across the plane as well, so there would be nowhere for it to escape to. However, upwards accelerating...
First of all, infinite is just a mathematical concept. Infinite doesn't exist.
No, it's a theory, if anything.
Yeah.
You can't prove infinite. You know, unless you create like a system that is.
And then you've got
infinite
finite.
input,
You've got
Infinite,
finite.
yeah.
And
but how would you have made? So you have to create the input anyway.
Infinite is just a mathematical construct. That's all it is. There's no such thing as infinite.
No.
And it's weird.
You can't prove infinite, just like you can't prove the existence of God.
Yeah. You've got like, there's two types of infinity, isn't there? There's finite and another one. Finite infinity and some other one. It's stupid. It's stupid. Infinity is infinity, which doesn't exist anyway.
only in our souls, but nowhere else.
Earth suffers from a fundamental problem, which is that if the Earth were accelerating at 9.8 meters per second, then that means for each second that passes, the speed of Earth increases by 9.8 meters per second.
Oh yeah, we tried to talk about that as well. But remember, they don't claim acceleration, so... yeah.
So then, starting from stationary, it would take 354 days for the Earth to surpass the speed of light. And there would need to be an expanse for the Earth to move through as well.
Well done, Dave. Who knew?
But it's moving because it's moving.
It's moving because it's moving. Who knew we can just let Dave go and spew this nonsense to Dell? Well done.
I didn't say that agreeing with Dell. It just shows. That's more like global rhetoric.
But the problem, it's just it's equivalence principle, which it literally is globe rhetoric.
Although I did hear Rachie talking to Fight the Flat Earth the other day about the whole concept, and she suggested that maybe the Earth isn't necessarily moving in a straight line, but rather travelling in an end.
Listen to this.
Earth, yeah.
Listen to this. SSW. Glenn Souch, the pressure of gas is defined as the force the gas would exert upon the surface or container. And then he's put keyword surface. You forget about container. Is that not also a keyword, mate?
I think it's a big keyword, isn't it? Big keyword.
Okay, I'm going to quickly say to Ace, let's go to the beloved paint.
Get the cranes out.
Because we have
was that Ragey again they talked about?
Yeah, Ragey again. Aye. Let's go to beloved paint. Let's put the ground, because I have to draw this out literally for the globies. We got the ground, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have a gas molecule bouncing. Now that's surface, great. Now what happens with the gas molecule once it's bounced? It's gonna change direction.
Yep.
Okay, now that gas molecule is going away here. Tell me again. Why is that gas molecule coming back to be able to... Can it come back if there's nothing here to stop it?
No.
Gas can only change direction with a collision. It's a perfect elastic collision. No barrier to let it come back. then no gas to breathe. Simple as that.
Endless loop. However, this could arguably wind up with the Earth being like a centrifuge, where everything on Earth is being thrown out towards the far edge.
Yes, I also want to explain that to Dale as well, but he doesn't want to actually make a claim on it. He just keeps saying it could be possible. But you don't want to progress. You don't want to talk to me. No, you're just retarded because you come say hello.
And the outer side of Earth would have a higher linear speed than the inside, which would then cause objects to be brought back to Earth at different rates on the outside edge versus the inside edge. And so subsequently the pressure gradient that we see within the atmosphere wouldn't be equal
Yeah, exactly, Dave. Well done.
either across the plane of Earth. But that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks once again.
It's over.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know.
Actually went through it quite quickly.
Mm.
Hey, Original Heroes, what's up?
Let's go overtime, Flats.
No, I can't. I'm so tired.
Hey, what's up? I'm pumping gas right now. What's up?
Oh, by the way, you pumping gas. Does that have a container required?
No, what I'm doing is I'm taking deep breaths and I'm
Yes, I knew
holding
it.
and then I'm blowing
I
it
knew
back into my tank. That's how I'm doing it.
Are you asking? Are you asking gravity? Come, gravity, please put gas into my vehicle.
That's exactly. That's what I'm doing. That's the only way. That's the only way.
Too right.
It's crazy. Yeah. So what can we? What's your guys' thoughts on this whole Dave McKeegan argument that was presented?
It's just terrible.
No argument.
It's no argument. Yeah, exactly. No argument at all with it. I just found it interesting that he agreed more with Dell's thing than us. It's crazy. It just shows you how much like a baller Dell is. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I find crazy, right? That they can actually deny needing a container for gas pressure, but everywhere in day life it's a contained pressurized canister for gas.
Mm.
Hey, the guy is dumber than a
Stupidity at best.
shoehorn. He's dumber than a shoehorn, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, Lev, good to see you. But I mean, if he would just knew gas behavior, how a gas behaves, he would have never even made this video to begin with.
No, of course.
Exactly.
Because he's literally saying gas behaves like bouncy balls in a fish tank. That's his argument. Gas go down, go boom boom.
It's the same. This argument's never gone away.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's been the same argument for as long as I've been around.
It's crazy.
It don't matter how many times you make these people look stupid. It don't matter how many times you refute them. Don't matter how much evidence you get them. They still come back with the same stupidity.
But it's like with
circle of dumb.
Yeah, it's like even this is another subject, but people, when you tell them about global warming being a scam, the CO2 scam, doesn't matter what you say or do, they don't get it. They just go back and look at the fake shit from the news and stuff. They just don't get that CO2 is not a problem. Yeah. That we need more CO2 for the world to actually thrive. Can't keep taking it away, then everything will die out.
Thank you.
How stupid can people really be, you know?
Sorry, as far as I know, photosynthesis requires CO2.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're
In
trying
order
to
for
take...
it to get here, you need CO2. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, it's poison.
And they're taking it away. They want us to keep limiting it, limited. And they talk about, but we are planting more trees too to save the world. Why are you growing trees to suck the rest of the little CO2 you are going to leave behind? You know, they put some trees there, but they keep sucking it out, taking it away. You know, how are those trees even going to make a difference, you know? They won't have anything to live off in the end. You know, no one will. It's ridiculous what they're doing, and it's so obvious. And they also plant trees that doesn't live for very long because they have, you know, put the tree onto another tree, and with time that tree won't survive. Only the stub will. And you know, what can you use a stub
There's
for?
a lot of people.
Did you guys see this latest thing with
when it comes to this,
with Greta Thunberg, where she talks about planes? We gotta go green with weaponry because there's such good technology out there that We can easily make fighter jets to be battery powered.
And it's this little Swedish girl who has parents who's actors. She's a little scamming girl, you know. All she does is, you know, say what she's
But let me
told
ask
to
you.
do.
But let me ask
all
you
staged.
something. Let me ask you
Yeah.
something. Does a battery take up more space if you're creating a? Let's for instance take a Tesla, for instance.
Yeah.
Is the whole floor just batteries?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it very heavy?
Yeah.
I would think the battery is heavy.
Yeah, and is it flammable?
Oh yeah.
And does it create to make those batteries cause more pollution than?
Oh yes. Very
Yeah.
much indeed.
This is how stupid these people are.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They talk about green energy and blah blah, but all the electricity we get also here in Denmark comes from, you know, a lot of it comes from Germany and lots of it comes from coal mining and all that shit. So how is it green?
Second best Bobby probably has $1 million.
Yeah, second best, Bob. Thank you very much for your £5 super chat, mate. Really appreciate
And the
it. Says,
batteries.
why not ask Dave
created by
McKeegan to
children.
debate you? I did ask him to debate me many times. He's not a debater, in other words. He just does videos because he has to work off a script.
You did talk to him once, remember? When was it? I can't remember. what show it
On
was.
Craig.
Yeah, it was on Craig's. Yeah, he did have a little tiny 5 minutes.
Was about refraction, yeah, and angle
Yeah.
and focal
What
lengths and
does a
stuff.
debate? Does a debate change reality?
No, not really.
No, but it will change his reality if he does a long debate with Flatzoid. He won't be able to answer the questions, and he will look dumb, and he can't
Yeah,
just
but
go,
he'll
"Oh,
still
but this
carry
is
on,
it for
though.
tonight." You know.
The point is, he'll just still carry on as though no it's ever happened, even if
Yeah,
his
yeah.
ass handed to him.
He'll just say, "Flatzoid didn't get it, so that's why I had to leave the show." And yeah,
But yeah,
this is how it really is.
But thank you, second best Bob, for your £5 super chat. Really appreciate it, mate. Yeah. But it's crazy.
Yeah. There's just too many of them that doesn't get. You know, it's amazing how many people claims you don't get it when they're not even close to getting it.
Mm.
You know, and I don't even have all the facts in my head. You know, I can't go around. If people ask me some of the questions, you know, I can't just out of my mind tell them exactly the thing because I don't remember all of it. You know, I got so much I think about every day, so I can't stand there and, you know, say it again. You know, I have to go home and look it up again sometimes. But still, I know when I hear it. You know, I know that, oh, that's true. That's not true. You know.
Are you guys in the mood to quickly debunk Sean Hawkins?
Oh yeah.
A quick one, because I want to do a video on it, but I'm like, nah, let's just do a quick one already because this is so stupid. I think it's this one. Is it this one? No. It's one of them with a triangle. It's a short, maybe.
Is this?
No,
this,
it was
is
alive. It was alive. Oh, it's this one. Ah.
Oh.
He puts a whole intro like this on to do a few minutes stream, guys. This is so stupid.
Oh, that is I, the great exalted one. I have come to give you the knowledge.
Everybody today.
Yay! Sean Hawkins, the most idiotic person on the YouTubes. Okay, watch this, guys. Look how stupid this is. He says this is supposed to be a challenge to me. So we're going to debunk his so-called challenge live quickly to show this guy should actually get professional help because he's very stupid. I'm surprised he has an IQ. I'm surprised he knows how to breathe on his own. He's so dumb.
It's a challenge for your patience, man.
It is. Exactly. LJ, who is the bigger retarded? Mark Reed or Ozian? Wow. Can I place them to... Oof, that's difficult. They're actually very close together, LJ.
That's a vote. That's the end game vote for this stream, I guess. It's the vote that's gonna finish the stream off.
But I have to say, at least they are not as retarded as this guy on screen right now, this Sean Hawkins. He takes the cake.
No, he's very dumb.
Even FTFE is calling him stupid. Now he's swearing at FTFE, saying FTFE loses all his debates and blah blah blah. Yeah, because FTFE actually agrees that this guy's stupid. Actually, everybody agrees this guy's stupid.
I agree.
Okay, let's listen to his argument, guys.
Got a short one from basically dedicated to Flatzoid.
Ooh, that's me.
Writing this for him.
Thank you, Sean.
I wanted to do it yesterday, but got caught up in stuff, and so I'm doing it today.
Yeah.
Only go to full screen. Weeks ago, Flatzoid, and all throughout him doing this, has made the statement that on flat Earth, in order to do celestial navigation, you don't have to know the height of the stars. You don't have to know the elevation of the stars.
That's correct, guys. Correct. All you need to know is the apparent altitude angle. That's all you need to know the distance to the GP.
Is it this meth head dude?
Yeah.
I just looked at my phone.
Okay. Well, don't worry. He's just making it worse for himself. Okay.
The altitude. See, on a globe Earth, they're millions of miles away. We don't need to know the altitude of them.
Sorry. So, is that hypocritical or not? On a globe Earth,
exactly
on a globe Earth, you don't need to know the height, but on a flat Earth, you do. What?
Yeah, what is that?
Why is that?
What's the explanation for that, Sean?
Aren't they all assumed to be just set on celestial sphere, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they make you go to the center of Earth to get that angular reading.
Yeah. There's no height or distance, whatever you want to call it, involved whatsoever.
And isn't it just perfect for them that when you leave the so-called when they leave Earth, as they claim to be able to, then they can't see them anymore.
So yeah.
Then they're gone because of some magic thing, you know.
Yeah, but it's insane. The guy's a hypocrite. Claiming on the globe Earth you don't need a height, but on a flat Earth you need a height. Why? Because you say so. Wow.
The angles of them match reality.
Yeah, the angles don't match reality. 26.5. You can get the distance to the GP in reality. Very simple. Using simple math. Okay.
Like Polaris.
Polaris,
on
yeah.
a sphere Earth, in reality, the angles to Polaris match latitude.
No, that's a flat Earth, mate, not a sphere Earth. Remember, it's a right angle, just what you're showing on screen is the same measurements you take to Polaris to get your distance to it. That's how you know what latitude you're on. It's not a globe. An angle is two straight lines meeting at a vertex. Remember? You're standing on Earth's surface when taking this measurement to Polaris, correct, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, again, I think this is going to be... This is going to like pulling teeth. Because it's so stupid this guy doesn't get it. Okay.
Oh, leave the rest of his teeth alone.
That's probably what he's got is fake. Okay.
It doesn't work on a flat Earth. As a matter of fact, on a flat Earth, in order to find, to do celestial navigation and to find your circle of equal altitude of whatever star you're sighting to, in reality, you just need to know the angle.
Yeah, exactly. In reality, we only need to know the angle, exactly. And based on just this angle measurement, I can tell you what's the distance to the GP of that star. Welcome to Flat Earth. You're debunking yourself on screen now.
And the time of day. On flat Earth, however, you'd have to know the height of the star.
No, you don't. Show me where anybody has claimed you need to know the height of the star. Anybody here? Anybody know of anybody that said you need to know the height of the star?
I can give a citation where it tells you that you don't need it.
Exactly. All you need is the apparent altitude angle. That's it.
Try and find it.
Hey LJ, thank you very much for your $2 super chat, mate. Really, really appreciate it. Is it me or do his eyebrows look fake and glued on? I think he dyes them.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not his color, that's for sure. You know.
Oh, prawn
Those hair would be all bushy and white gray.
Prawn shockings with the bushy eyebrows. They do look a tad darker than usual.
Oh, crazy.
Nice.
So I posted a gave Flatzoid a little trigonometry problem.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, tell me.
And asked him to give me the base. This would be the base. Let me,
Okay.
Oh, you're right. You can actually see the little bit of the right and the real eyebrows coming out.
on the
out
sides.
more left side there.
Base.
Yeah.
He's almost got a monobrow, by the way.
Yeah.
I think he shaves it, maybe. I don't know.
So you've got the base.
He's a plucker.
Of the triangle.
Nice, okay.
Got a nice gold beard, though.
Okay, base of the triangle. Yes, Sean.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
You have the base of the triangle, which is the radius of your circle of equal altitude.
Yes, you've realized that. And what does that mean, guys? It's on the same plane, correct?
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Welcome to Flat Earth, mate.
Yeah, you're gonna need a flat Earth for that.
Wow. So he's just conceded the GP of the observer is on the same plane of the GP of the star. Welcome to Flat Earth. Because that is the radius of the circle. A circle. Two-dimensional plane. Well done.
That's what this base is. Here's the star, or here's the ground position of the star at B. Here's you, the observer, at A. Sighting a star, C, at 26.56 degrees.
Okay.
Actually, 57 degrees if you round up.
You round up 26.6. That would be rounded up, 26.6. Let's quickly do the math for him, because I don't think he understands how this works. Oh, okay. No, I want to do it on... Should we do it on paint as well, just to piss him off?
What's this 90 degrees he's got in this flat baseline there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's take a screenshot just so we can draw it for him. Okay. Okay, Sean, we got it on screen now for you. What do we do? What do we do? Oh boy. Okay. First of all, you take the 90 degrees, you minus the apparent altitude angle measurement. It'll be 26.6 rounded off, which will equal your co-altitude angle. So 90 minus 26.6 gives you 63.4. Now we want to get the distance times 60 to get your nautical miles equals, I don't know how much times we have to do this for the guy. 3,804 nautical miles. There we go, mate. There's your base. That's your base. From A to B, we know the distance, aka your radius of that circle of equal altitude. You are 3,804 nautical miles away from the GP of the star. Welcome to Flat Earth. I don't know what's so difficult about this, why it's such a challenge.
It wasn't a challenge.
Now the problem is, what's the length of the base? Based on this information right here.
Wow.
What is the length of the base?
Wow, that's what you just blew.
How far are you from the ground position of this?
No, this is a live he did. That is supposed to be a challenge to me.
Star.
Wow.
So that's your problem, Flatzoid. You need to solve for the base without knowing anything else besides the angle of this, which would be 90 degrees, which makes it a right triangle.
Yep.
And the angle of elevation of the star.
He doesn't get it. He keeps debunking his own globe. Just like when he tries to tell me, why don't you bring propane in a bucket? Duh.
Thought there were no right angle triangles in celestial navigation, McToon.
Although we can show citation the whole time that does show it. But I love how he's just
contradict themselves. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I just love how he's just conceded Hey, Riff Raff, good to see you. I was considered that baseline, aka the base of the right triangle, is the radius of the circle of equal altitude. So we observing that star is on the same plane as the star's GP. So in other words, it's not a globe. LJ.
Because, Flatzoid, the problem is, you don't know where that star is on the Earth.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you do. It's in Nautical Almanac.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. 3,804 nautical miles away from you. After you've got this distance, you know how far you are from once you've looked in the nautical almanac where that star should be.
That's why you have to take time as well, because Nautical Almanac tells you
The
where
time
it is
and
every
date.
minute
Exactly.
a day.
Exactly. The nautical almanac just tells you this is the position of the star. Because you know the star is at this position thanks to the nautical almanac, you have just given your distance from the star to you. And all we had to get was an apparent altitude angle. I don't need to know the height of the star, because that's just shit. You don't need to know the height of the star. The height of the star. Yeah?
Time for that citation I've just posted.
Okay, in Ellement. There we go, Sean. A sextant is used to measure the altitude of celestial body above the horizontal line of reference. Altitude, in this case, is a special use of the word describing an angular measurement, not a distance in feet above sea level. Oh boy! Boom!
He's not the only one that didn't get this. Even some flat earthers didn't get this. To be honest with you, because there was a little quarrel between. I ain't gonna drop names, but little quarrel between a misunderstanding between one guy, who pretty much, gets upset because he hates to be wrong. I'm not gonna say who he is. He has a strong British accent. I'll say that much. His name's not Nathan. His name's not Adam. But
and his name's not Michael.
His name's not Michael. Yeah, his name's not Michael.
Not Keith
He's
either.
not anybody. Yeah, so he's not anybody on this board, and he's not anybody that's on the FED panel. But he does be in Discord sometimes, and we had a pretty much hard explanation because he was trying to justify. He was in the FED Discord, and he was backing up the understanding of this distance requirement of the distance of the star. The distance of the GP to the star. And it wasn't about that. It was trying to explain it's nothing but it's the angle distance, not nothing the distance of the object to object. But they didn't get that. So,
Exactly.
so he's not the only one. Meth heads coming off, all kinds of sizes and you know what I'm saying?
Okay, since he's debunked himself, yeah.
I think like some people confuse it with like if you were measuring height of a building.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or
but
mountains or something like that.
But this is the thing. There's a difference between celestial navigation and just doing normal ordinary trigonometry to a building or a tree or something. This is the same thing. I was
set up in it.
Yeah. This is what I was trying to explain to him with his room. He used the Theodolite app to his room and says, "Oh, so my room is now 3,900 nautical miles away." What? Your room is not a celestial object.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Stupid.
Or over the Earth. You don't know where it is.
We do.
So in order to find a position on sea, to find your circle of equal altitude, you have to know the height. Because
No, you don't.
what happens if the star isn't here?
The star would be there. Because the nautical almanac says it's there.
Yeah,
If you can't see it, then you have to measure an elevation angle to it.
I don't think they get. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they get the angular thing, do they?
No, he doesn't understand what angular measurement means.
Yeah, exactly.
Not distance, it's
No,
angular
actual
measurements.
Yeah, exactly.
What about... Let me bring my move tool up so I don't fuck up again. What happens if Your star is over here. It's way up here, Flatzoid. Oop.
What does it make a difference? That's what you're saying on your globe.
What?
He's saying his star and his globe is millions and trillions of miles away, correct?
Does that matter where they are? You just see a light.
Exactly. It doesn't make a difference.
This is stupid.
Yeah, you're measuring an angular distance, and it's proportional to the 90-degree GP of the star. That's why you have the almanac, Sean, to tell you where the position is, so you know how far you are from that position, Sean.
But did you catch him from the beginning?
Does
when
he
he
even
said-
know what a GP is?
But did you catch him from the beginning? His first statement when he said why it has to be for flat Earth and why not for the spherical reality Earth is because we already know they're 1 million miles away. That's a presupposed, assumed claim right there.
Exactly, and like I'm saying, what he's doing
Emphasis on
now.
ass.
Exactly, assumed.
But you see what he's doing here now? He's pushing it out further like the globe. So what? That's not going to change your base. You're measuring an angular measurement. That's the reason. You're just measuring an angular measurement. It won't change where the GP is and how far you are from that GP.
The problem Sean's got is, right, your boat's on the surface, your GP's on the surface, and when you've done dip correction to get 90 degrees, then it's all on the same horizontal.
Exactly.
And it has to be surface because that's why you've done dip, to get your eye down to sea level.
Exactly.
Can't see that, can you?
Right.
What happens if the star's up way up here?
Doesn't matter. Because the
Achoo.
almanac tells you the GP.
I'm allergic to BS.
Yeah, exactly. Because the almanac tells you the GP. How is a GP observed? Oh, I don't know. Being right overhead of me on the ground. Idiot.
Star's GP is
It's in direct.
zenith on Earth.
Yeah, the GP is a ground position. So in reality, we will always measure that angular measurement. It's got nothing to do with the height of the star, Sean.
Direct line of sight of that 26-degree angle.
It doesn't matter. You can stick it out 1 trillion miles away. It will not change the fact that GP of the star is a set distance based on the angular measurement.
The light in the sky is just a reference point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, this is sad.
See, the angle is still the same, right?
Is this supposed to I got you thing? Is that what he's trying to say? But he's too dumb to understand that his I got you just shows he doesn't understand how it works.
The angle.
Yeah?
He thinks we're all wrong because he don't understand it. That's top and bottom on it with Sean.
Yeah.
Was still the same, but the problem is its ground position has changed. So unless you know,
No, the ground position hasn't changed, mate.
What the hell is that about? It's changed.
Just because you're drawing it out that way doesn't change the reality of the situation. 26.57 degrees will give a certain distance. That distance is how far you are from the GP of the star. That's it.
They have to take many sites, though, don't they, and keep checking time and then get an average on time to get an accurate GP where it is.
The more sites you do, the more accurate it is. That's why you do multiple stars. No,
but I mean, just
Captain
on one
Crunch.
star, you do multiple sites on that same star and get an average time, so that you get so then you've got an accurate time to look in your almanac.
Captain Crunch, height doesn't matter because you don't worry about the height of the star. What you're worrying about is your apparent angular measurement to the star and your position of the GP of that star. That's it. That's how you
All you
get your
care-
distance.
In other words, all you care about is getting the fuck home. That's
Exactly.
all. You want to get home.
Do they realize that this star is on the celestial sphere? Does it say celestial plane or celestial sphere, guys?
this distance here, you cannot solve for the base, Flatzoid. So,
Already did.
please prove me wrong.
Already did.
Prove me wrong.
Already did.
Prove to me that you can find the base of a triangle
Okay. There we go. There's your
without
base of the
knowing the
triangle.
length of any other side
There we go.
and just one angle other than 90.
Okay.
So do that, Flatzoid.
Already did.
Just done it.
You claim
Yeah.
you can do celestial navigation on flat Earth? Fucking prove it, bitch.
Just did.
Tired of you talking, boy.
Just
Time
did.
for action.
Oh, he's
Tired
tough
of you.
now.
Tired of you
Such an
making
idiot.
claims and not backing them up.
Better back off now. He's too tough.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah,
We don't
he
die
said the
anymore,
F word,
damn.
so he's tough now.
Yeah, he's tough.
God.
Just because.
Biggest joke
So,
on
so,
Glove Earth.
so how long have I been showing this exact math?
Ages now.
Ages now.
Yeah.
And that math always works out, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what's with him saying I've never shown it? I've explained this many times.
Now back up your claim, motherfucker, and show me how you can get the length of the base with only this angle and this angle.
Easy.
Easy.
90 minus 26.57 gives you a
Thanks.
co-altitude angle times 60 to get in nautical miles, and there's your base measurement. Well done. Welcome to Flat Earth, mate.
If you can't,
he's venting like the bitter ex, and you be like, why don't you come see your fucking child sometimes? That's all he's doing. He's venting. That's all. He's just venting.
Well, that was a nice quick debunk.
Wow. He's still clever as well.
Very clever. So, yeah, guys, I definitely need to go sleep now.
Yeah, man. Good. Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to say thanks, guys, for coming.
Not a problem.
It was fun. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night.
Yep.
Cool. Good night, guys.
Many blessings.
All right.
Nico Lambrecht says your math is not correct. Yes, it is correct. It always works out. So yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. And you know how you can test this? You know how you can test this, Nico? Look at an almanac. Anyway, thanks guys all for coming. Really appreciate it. You guys rock. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the likes and the shares. You guys are really awesome. Please have an awesome day further. Till tomorrow, many blessings. Cheers. May the pressure be with you.
Blessings.
The first day.